Please, everybody, join me for a deep breath. Breathe in. Tahi, rua, toru. And keep breathing. The Māori word ha is onomatopoeic. It means breath. As co-owner of Awhi Yoga and Wellbeing, as a teacher of yoga and of meditation, as a trainer of teachers, I full well know the power and the potency of breath. In a moment, it can change our state. When you're feeling anxious or nervous like I am right now, it can calm you down. If you're feeling unhappy or sad, a breath in and out 3, 4, 20 times can make you feel happier. NZ Stats released a finding that since 2006, the use of anxiety medicine and antidepressant medicine in our tamariki, in our children, has increased by 80%. 80%. What that means is that our children are relying on medicine to feel calmer. Our children are relying on pills to feel happier. But what about if our children had some simple mindfulness tools like you guys just did with me, taking a breath in and out to feel calmer, to feel happier? I was born in Whanganui. I was whāngai by my grandparents. I was brought up with them, with my little brother. It was a beautiful upbringing. I was always surrounded by love, but it was a humble upbringing. My very first memory was of my dad at 2, standing at the door. You know, it was the 70s, so there were some questionable fashion choices. He had a handlebar moustache. I know you know. He had a mullet haircut. He had flares. He had a red bag. I remember this picture, it's seared in my mind because it was the day that Dad left and didn't come back. What does that do to a child at 2 years old when Dad leaves and doesn't come back? I call this a pivot point. A pivot point is something that happens in our lives, positive or negative, that can change the course of our lives forever. Within me, it elicited feelings of abandonment, of not worthiness, of not enoughness. Perhaps these feelings resonate with you. But luckily in my life, I've had yoga, I've had meditation, I've done my own personal work to work through that childhood trauma. And I'm telling you, on the scale of things bad that happen to children, Dad leaving and not coming back isn't actually that bad. But it definitely impacted my life. Unfortunately, those feelings of abandonment and not worthiness perpetuated more deeply within my little brother. They sat as mamai in his heart. They played havoc on his mind. They manifested in his body. Unfortunately, a year ago, almost to this day, my little bro passed away. And my mai tōrito talking hako. What about my bro? Had some really simple tools to heal the hurt, to navigate his way through his life, so he could be here for our whānau and for his kids. Please join me for another breath in. Tai, rua, toru. Keep breathing. I'll be okay. In 2017, a student of mine from Awhi Yoga and Wellbeing came to me and said, Jase, can you come and teach yoga for our kids? 80% Māori in Pacific Islands, and most of them boys. I feel that you'd be a really positive role model for them. And I was, of course, yes, man, I'll come and teach them how to move and to breathe. And so I did, and I had the best time. I forgot how much I loved teaching children. There were some noises that perhaps didn't deserve to be in a yoga class, like, oh, matua, that was the mat. But I sat down and I had a kōrero with them and I said, do you fellas know any Māori stories? What Māori stories do you guys know? And one of the bros puts his hands up and goes, oh, I know the story of Maui, you know, the chubby fella with the moving tattoos, and started to sing the song from Moana. And I was like, no. Ka. Maui was a beautiful ancestor tupuna of ours. He did some amazing things, like he fished up the North Island that you and I are sitting on right now. He captured fire so that we can have fire. He slowed down the sun, tamanui te rā, so that we can have longer days and enjoy ourselves for longer time. Yes, he did have tattoos, but he was a rangatira. He was half atua, he was half man. And one of the bros goes, so are you Maui? And I was like, yes. Anything to get them on my side, right? But what I realized is that our children, Māori Pacific Island, don't know the stories that I was brought up with. And so, buoyed, motivated, you might say, by the statistics of how many children are taking medicine to feel better, activated by the passing of my brother, I created a program called M3, Mindfulness for Children. There are 3 components of M3. The first is Māori stories. Our Māori narratives in Pūrākau have some beautiful themes of love, themes of respect, of whakapapa, so you know where you come from. And then more recently, the story of Matariki, for example, where we teach about the 9 stars of Matariki coming down to take care of Papa Tuanuku, or Mother Earth. And who here can't resonate with the story or the theme of taking better care of Mother Earth, and for that matter, everyone else? So the second component of M3 is movement. I say to the kids, if you move your body and keep moving, then you'll be as old as me one day. I'm 82. And the bros go, oh, you're older than our koro. Out of the mouths of babes, right? But really the heart of this program, man, is the mindfulness. I just want to see if you guys can do mindfulness. Is that okay? That's it. That's it. Public service announcement. Mindfulness is not sitting in a cave doing a mudra, chanting Om. Mindfulness, by definition, ladies and gentlemen, means paying attention to what is going on right now in this moment. Just what you are doing to me, right here, right now. And how much could our children benefit from that? Then they wouldn't be hanging out in the past, which leads to depression. Then they wouldn't be hanging out in the future, which leads to anxiety. They'll be here, right now. And in this moment, guys, there'd be more of an opportunity for our children to feel happier, to feel calmer, so they're not relying on medicine to feel that. Do you agree? Share with me another deep breath in. Tai, rua, toru. I'm sure you all know the statistics. We have the highest suicide rates for male in the world. This resonates even more with me because I've lost 4 of my friends to male suicide. I don't know if you guys know, but in 2018, we were the second highest rated in the world for youth suicide. As of February of this year, 2019, we now have the highest suicide rates in youth in our rangatahi, from ages 10 to 19 in the developed world. What the? But what gives me hope is that Jacinda and the government have come up with a plan. With their wellbeing initiative, they're spending $1.9 billion, you may know that. But a large portion of that is going towards mental health services. So that you, so that I, so that our tamariki, so that our children have better ways and better services to help people take better care of their hinengaro or their mental health and well-being. I'm interested. We spend, hopefully, 2 minutes a day on our dental health. What about if we spent 2 minutes a day on our mental health? Breathing, meditating, being in nature, making ourselves feel better up here so we can go be better humans in the world, right? M3 is my contribution to the kaupapa of improving our mental well-being, particularly of our tamariki here at Aotearoa. M3 is my contribution to creating better leaders for future generations. There's a beautiful whakataiki that says, hāpaitia te aratika pūmau wai, te rangatiratanga mō ngā uri whakatipu. And that means foster the knowledge of strength, of independence, of growth for all of our future generations. That's my kaupapa. Share with me, please, another deep breath in. Tahi, rua, toru. So that since that very first yoga class that I took with those children in the hut 2 years ago, I probably think you're wanting to know, how has M3 developed? Well, it's now an online program for primary schools. I want to share some successes through it being put out into our primary schools. Just 3 examples. The first is a principal in the hut came to me and said, Jase, you've changed this little fella's life through being a positive role model for him. Through doing M3, the online program, this guy who was physically the biggest in the school and touted to be a troublemaker and a bully, through doing M3 now, is now the sheriff of the bullies. He has tools to be able to calm himself down so that now he can use his physical prowess to be a leader. How choice is that? Or there's an autistic child who doesn't speak, but her minders sent me a video and said, Jase, you don't know what you've given this little child. In the video, she does this to her minders, and she takes herself off into the corner to do tahirua toru ha as a way to manage her own self. Or there's a child who you're about to see in the video shortly. When we film these videos, it's closed set, meaning no dance mums, please. But the mum, she came in, she was like, I wanted to meet the guy who has changed our family. I was like, oh, whoa, am I in trouble? And she was like, no. Our child now keeps dad accountable. At dinner, the child says, Dad, be mindful. Be present. Put your phone down and be with us. M3 has enjoyed some great success, and I feel it has a bright future. For example, we are now in 100 schools throughout Aotearoa. I did a tour of Aotearoa from the bottom of the South Island to the top of the North Island and worked live with over 2,000 children. My heart. I've just finished training 2 trainers, so they'll be able to deliver this program live here in Te Whanganui-a-Tara in Wellington, and then another one up in Auckland and Tamaki Makaurau. Next step is to train 2 more trainers so that they can deliver the program fully in te reo Māori. But the most exciting news is that just recently we've started and we're in the startup stage, the creation stage of creating M3 Mindfulness for the early childhood education centres throughout New Zealand. Because see, I realise that this program is not just for primary school aged children, it's for all of our children. And the earlier that we can teach them some cool tools, then we'll have a better chance that they're going to be robust and resilient adults, calm, making wiser, better decisions that will not only affect themselves, but all others. Before I leave today, e hoa mā, I just wanted to share a little snippet of what the schools see in the online program, and eventually when we create it for the early childhood education sector as well. Thank you, Luke. Finally, the magical jawbone overpowered the sun, and Maui spoke, "From now on, you will travel slowly across the sky, so that we can have more light and more time to enjoy your presence." Ahakoa tāna riri, although he was angry, Tamanui te rā was tired and battered. E whakaai atu ia, he eventually agreed. To this day, you and I can enjoy the warmth and light of the sun, because he has learnt now to travel slowly. Something we can all do from time to time, neha. Kia āta haere. Let's move our bodies slowly. So turn, bend one knee, straighten the other leg. Ano hoki, reach up. Good, and to the side. Go slow. Āta haere, remember, slowly. I love this story about Maui snaring the sun, because it just reminds us to slow everything down. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. So we'll slow our breath down, I reckon. Tahi rua toru ha. Just 5 times, just to finish. You guys ready? Okay, sit up tall, me āta whakamoe ngā karu. Perhaps close your eyes. And then here we go. Breathing in. Tahi, rua, toru. Tahi, rua, toru. James Kerr, the author of Legacy, which pinpoints the 15 top leadership points that set the All Blacks above any other team in the world, says, be a good ancestor. Be the caretaker of your lineage. Your actions today will echo throughout all time. Leave a legacy. M3, Mindfulness for Children, is my legacy. Tēnā koutou e te iwi.